how do I describe what it feels like to have become, everything that I always said and knew I would be. It's like such a deeply intimate journey, and I'm so sorry. This, but it's such a deeply intimate journey, I feel like, and I just want to give glory and praise to the Most High for the energy that's vibrating at this time. I got this new oracle deck, or new to me, and it's the oracle of the Grail Code. What am I ready for now that I wasn't ready for, but was trying for 2 years ago? What am I ready for now? That's a big statement because there's a lot of stuff that was popping off 2 years ago. Nurturing communication. Wow, 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 wow. Some nurturing communication coming in. Communication that will feed you, that will feel like the ecstasy of life, like the flowering. That's heavy communication energy, like heavy nurturing, like it's on stage, it's an announcement, it's an arrival. But from your perspective, it feels like you can't get deep enough in this flower. Mm. Well, let's see. Your quest tosses you into the multi-dimensional world of nourishment. Okay, this is where you get tossed into the multi-dimensional world of nourishment. In case you didn't hear me the first time, you are needing to become proficient in the art of self-nurturing on all the levels in your life before you are ready for what is next on your quest. It is vital that you choose to bond with nature to awaken what has been lying dormant and what is now needed. This is all that Aries activation, bro. This is like springing to life. This is activating. This is sexual, bro. This is Kundalini. This is like, yeah, and I definitely felt this energy come in last night. There was a gnarly, very destructive storm. Because on our morning bike ride, there was just carnage, tree carnage everywhere, And so that spirit was getting in some good energy, was sending it. It was always very specific houses that were like just, their trees took like massive hits. But it was almost like a natural, I made the comment, it was almost like a natural pruning, like the trees stay shapely, like it's like nature will also like keep the trees from overgrowing by like occasionally bringing Uranian, like Thunderbolt Tower energy, Mars energy, Scorpio energy, masculine energy, masculine energy. What are you doing now that you see, now that you realize that that was your path? How are you going to support the recovery of this divine feminine? Because we need to make sure that we are nurturing in the fullest at this time, because it's the boom, it's the burst. Nurturing yourself isn't only about taking a bath once in a while, although that is a good place to start. It is a change in the way you think and what you believe. That's what the new start comes in at. It comes in at this spiritual level. Because God says the way that we heal this earth is through awakening our spiritual understanding of what we're doing and how we're connected. When you change the attention, when you change what we think about, the world changes. When we manifest different thoughts, that's how we see change. So she could walk by this flower every day, but this is like what it feels like. Like, this is some of us, like some of the activities I'm doing. Like, for example, Dennis and I started biking. We got ourselves really nice bikes for entering into our 6th year. So together, which is just nuts. Like, the time is just flown, but not really. Like, not flown in the sense of like I feel like I'm missing anything. I just feel like not us doing numbers, you know what I mean? But this is how I feel right now. So a lot of the, like, bike riding for me, like, I have been dormant is a great way to put, like, lying dormant in the sense of, like, there was a sweeping fear that was pervading, like, me. Like, I had it, I didn't realize. I mean, and that's the thing, that's why you should never fear any changes, or different upticks or down spells of, like, a wheel of fortune by any means, because what is down will always go, is a reflection of the heights that it can also reach, and it's, like, also relative. And so if you find that this is, like, when you are maybe not, this is where you can sustain fortune all the time, like, which is kind of like a real core belief of mine, which is, like, regardless of what it actually might be for me, like, did I feel like I lived in a way that always represented what I knew my value, which I determined was, you know what I mean? And that's what this nurturing energy shows. This is a period of time that we were getting to cultivate and prove that no matter what, some of y'all need to get activated so we can start making it happen, because this is how I'm supposed to be living. This is how I'm supposed to be engaging. This is what my value is. So it doesn't matter if I'm actually a maid and this is my 5-minute break that I get for lunch, you know. I'm going to make sure that I am smelling the roses, and then people will look on at me as if wow, she's really smelling the roses right now, and I'm going to be like, absolutely, I'm smelling the roses right now because I have that kind of time. I have that kind of time because I determine my value here. And this reality that we are manifesting at this time is, it feels so good because there's a lot being released out of the double action candle that I have right here, which is great, you know what I mean? There's a lot that's getting released by this overall general well-being and health that is starting to pervade and become, like, very root chakra, you know what I mean? Like, we're embarking on habits that we are knowing are going to need to be in our subconscious, but just will promote general health, like a standard of well-being, you know what I mean? It's all really connected right now, but this is what's being birthed into the now, and this is what this achievement indicates. This is the kind of messaging that we'll have from now on, you know what I mean? Where you just get to bask and relish in a reality that is meant for your curiosities to flourish and expand, and because you have already mastered a certain level of perspective about what's really going on here, you know? Yeah, and it's about observing the thought, you know what I mean? It's about observing the thought and then, you know, observing the thought and then shining your light. That's it. That's what we've developed. And I feel like this is a really grounded energy. Sorry, because I was just having such negative correlations because I realized that when certain things come into my consciousness, like it's so important to me. Like this is a personal authority. This is when you take your own boundaries so seriously. Where it's like, I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not playing with what's penetrating the airwaves right now. This is how intimate and how close. Like, there's no fear here. A nurturing life is one where you choose to live as if every moment and everything that happens in your life is there to bring you only the most wonderful, loving, and deeply nourishing experience. Hello. Some of us are not engaging because at this point, some of the violence that just kind of pervades really stems from this need of shifting, and the need for you to shift your perspective, the need for you to really say, I need to start believing and reinforcing that my life is a nurturing one, where I choose to live as if every moment and everything that happens in my life is there to bring only the most wonderful, loving, and deeply nourishing experience. This has to pervade our chakra system as individuals. This isn't just for parents to do. This isn't just for kids. This isn't just for the elderly. This isn't just for the leaders and the figureheads. This isn't just for celebrities. This is for the root chakra. This is for you to light up and to really do the work to understand that if that is the natural law of this universe, where am I in need of doing adjustments, starting routines, starting the habits that it sounds pretty militant, but it's that time, where it was all fun and games and it was all about my karmic cycle until my karmic cycle ended, and now I'm really just sitting here like thinking about how much now I just have unconditional love for all energies, and now I'm like, we all need to ascend it, Women have a special affinity with nature and the earth. We share the ability to cycle, menstruation and the seasons. We bring forth new life, and we are capable of nourishing life from our bodies. We are mothers, as the earth is our mother. Therefore, going into nature to seek that nourishment is particularly revitalizing. That's what I mean. So a lot of the things that I've been investing in have really been to promote me to continue this, grounded connection with the cycles, 1313, knowing what is going on, you know what I mean? And this is really what it's been, daily bike riding, daily walks, multiple times a day. And setting things up so that I feel like picking a route that feels like something that I can commit to consistently, that does challenge, but also, is pleasant, because I just want to feel, good while I'm doing that, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So do you fret and foam at the merest mention of having to take time to care for yourself because all you want to do is work, work, work? Someone has tampered with your brain. Time for a serious reprogramming. Are there not enough hours in the day after you have nurtured everyone in your family, your job, your community, and those you haven't met yet, for you to nourish yourself? Take time to make you a priority, right? And I feel like the universe is pushing everybody to make themselves a priority. That's what this Aries is go. It's like the friend that's just pressuring you to, no, you need to go. You need to prioritize you. So this could look like crashing. This could look like pay attention. This could look like parents, look in your homes. Talk to your children. It's a bigger infrastructural problem as well when we talk about the disconnect between the generations. Some of us are severely just not answering the call to connect. To answer the call. To connect to spirit, 1-800-SPIRIT, you know what I mean? And the longer you choose to disconnect, the more we will see the disconnect in our external world. And separation is violence. You've got to choose to connect at this time. That's why Spirit said, time's up. It's time to make you a priority. And for some of y'all are hiding. You're not taking care of yourself at all because you're trying to take care of everybody else and you think that's a flex. It's not. You look a mess. And Spirit's like, you look a mess. We're going to have to clean this up. Is your job one whose key aspect is to nurture the clients, the staff, the bosses, leaving you exhausted and desperately under-nurtured? I know some of y'all hear that. Time for a change in venue. Woo! I'm talking about the just collapse of the reality of, like, some of y'all thought y'all were working in industries that, like, we tried to tell you in 2020. Like, what you were trying stuff in 2020 that was not meant to really unfold until 2022. So what you chose and how you tried to manipulate that in the interim talks about, it speaks to how you develop structures in your life. Like, if you were someone who got the vision in 2020 vision, right? We all received the download. Okay, let's just assume that, yeah? So we all saw the vision of what it was and what was meant for us, right? But so then what do you do when you see that vision? Do you create a structured step-by-step plan to build the foundation to connect that dot? Or are you the person that says, how's the fastest way that I can get this? You know, or when will this be the most profitable to me? That's what I wanted. Like, are you manipulating this? Like, so pay attention to how you were building that structure, because in 2022, it's time for the vision to manifest. But for some of y'all, you've already long since spent it, won it, lost it, and turned it over again. You know what I mean? It's that kind of, like, not actually realizing that, yes, you were given a pile of tent materials because you were inevitably supposed to learn how to build this tent. And the incentive to do well and build a structurally sound tent was your own livelihood and safety, and how you were going to weather what building your own home felt like. Yeah, so for those of us who are unaware, welcome to awareness. You've got much to catch up on, so there's no sense in making that more fantastic than it needs to be. But Spirit, don't be surprised when Spirit, like, some of y'all thought I was just like, oh, girl, get out of here. How? Like, you're going to eat your word. I hear, like, Spirit being like, some of y'all were watching people run to where they needed to be to make the call, to answer the call in time, right? We had a long-ass window of time, okay? So, and I'm not even saying I was first, nor, like, it's not even on that. It's just like, okay, it is what it is with Spirit. And so, when you're really assessing what's, like, true for you, you know, I want you all to really conceptualize and really connect with whatever the truth of that house that you were building was. And for some of you, I also feel like I want to connect to my fiance's energy at this time, because in his case, it's like, you're not recognizing that, like, that pain and suffering you went through to, like, really correct and harmonize aspects of self that were ready to be integrated and ascended. Yeah, that work you were doing, like, that was you committing to the path. So even though you feel like you don't have all these answers, like, you do. You have all the answers because you did all the work. So this is about recognizing that, like, this is, like, not over-identifying with the, like, pain and strife and the grief and the lower vibrations of what the journey could entail, and recognizing that if you only see it for that, you can be doing awesome, and if you're only someone who's trained to look for the strife of it, then that's the real problem, because you could be having an awesome life, and it's just because you only see the negatives that you think that it actually feels or appears bad. So what kind of person do you want to be? What do you want to do with that awareness? Where do we go with from there? Those are the kind of questions we're asking ourselves, because it's a beautiful energy. For some of us, this, like, for me, like, bro, like, it's not even to be a heavy message. I just saw 2000, like, that's it, boom, like, off to the races. But it's like, for many of us, this is like an amazing vibration. For many of us, we caught wind of when to disconnect and when to jump on board and when to have the universal energies to support the new endeavor, the new beginning. So for many of us, this is going to feel like blossoming, like from the inside out, like knowing, like you might even feel like you're in the wash, but it's all good because this is literally like a time-oriented change. Like with time, something will be different, and so we'll be arriving at the other end of what these changes, these like followed intuitive hits and downloads, like go here, apply there, run this, do that. Yeah, that was all for a reason, so that you were right in sync with the pockets of like aligning. Because you got the support to abruptly leave with that Scorpio energy, like just say this is toxic, bye. But at the eclipse, and that garbage got taken out, that bulk pickup came and took all of that, right? It's actually bulk pickup in our neighborhood, and the giant truck company that's like, they have, I guess their name is Aftermath, and that's such a real, that's really what we're like we're stepping into the aftermath of all the frantic planning and preparation and hard work and spiritual ascendant and grinding and staying connected and staying committed and really holding yourself. All of that has allowed you, has opened up a path for you to really get ready to smell the roses, bro, because everywhere you go, you're gonna just have the space and freedom to indulge. Like, I'm really getting an opportunity to read again, which is huge for me. And yeah, you know, it's been phenomenal. It's been really phenomenal. I mean, we can share books. I just started yesterday, but I'm only at through spiritual astrology here. It's just been a wonderful read, because I've been really I've been recognizing in myself where there's been a severe need to like change like channeled material and physical material. There's a certain level of wisdom and connection to spirit that's in print, you know. And so when we entered the phase of like print being dead, like that was always going to be temporary, because print is the truth. It's the real transmission of like knowledge and information, and it's root chakra. It makes you process, and it's a different realm, and it doesn't make this physical dimension always so boisterous, you know what I mean? Because it's distributed amongst different texts and modalities. So, you know, I've been really, really grateful for that, because even just a day of reading yesterday just changed so much. Because I know for me that when I'm able to read, I'm in a place where I'm able to like do my Taurus moon thug thizzle and really expand into those pockets in those moments, really graze in the grass of each moment, you know what I mean? Stop. Oh, it says time for a change in venue. Perhaps you don't feel it's your turn yet. Oh wow, that's really something that I was also saying to people. You know, I had a few really recent public exits where spirit, like my exit was just like my hand was made. Like I didn't have a choice. Like I was really just like stuck. So I had to go in a certain direction, and people were just like, dang, like, and a lot of people's perspective was like, must just be like her time. And it's so funny, because I was like, oh no, it's all of our time. Like, you're all about to experience your turn. It's your turn. It's our turn. Everybody's making it. Okay, and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Stop putting up roadblocks to your nourishment. You deserve it. You need it. So just open to receive it. None of us, no matter how gifted with abundant energy, can go for long periods of time without replenishment, without receiving deep, sustaining, hunger-quenching nourishment. I'm talking like queer awakening. I'm talking like ooga booga booga. Like, I'm talking like fated and destined things that are going to make you not be able to look away from at what needs nourishment, what needs to be reconciled, how the community needs to come together to support like the development and healing of the humans that are currently here. Like, I'm not even throwing shade about bringing new life in, because look, that's everybody's individual call. But like, when we talk about our perspective on what our purpose and function is, technically childbearing and raising additional life is far less center of the point than y'all think. You get me? Like, it's not Because that's why things are out of control. Like what we can see, what we can understand from the global message that's being shared, the way that we share trauma and tragedy, right? Is that the deeper the tragedy, the more out of control it really is. But it isn't for us to 25 be paralyzed by the lack of control. It's to acknowledge that this is our world, that these are our thoughts manifesting into real action. These are our wounds that we need to heal community-wide. So before we get so excited to just like bring a new life, and you really don't know the first thing about that, because some of y'all don't even know how you're influenced by just like the world around you, like the very basic, like walk out of your front door world around you. Like some of y'all don't even know that and are like, oh, I'm having a kid, or like, oh, I'm like, you know what I mean? Some people, oh my goodness, it just terrifies me, because I'm just like, what? What do you think this life is about? If you can't even nurture yourself, what do you think this life is about? I need to read that. None of us, no matter how gifted with abundant energy we claim to be, bro, I know some of y'all need to hear that, because I know some who need to hear that. No matter how gifted we claim to be with abundant energy, can go for long periods of time without replenishment. I don't care who you are, you can't do it. Without receiving deep, sustaining, hunger-quenching nourishment. Like a baby suckling at a mother's breast. Like, that's how you need to be nourished from your own life. Do you understand that? Do you believe that? Part of the agreement we signed when we incarnated into physical form was that we would take care of the vehicle. Right? As I'm trying to give this message out, my own shadow, my own wounding is trying to share loud thoughts that are not correlated, bro. Are not, like, this is why we need to heal, because I can't even give my message without my wounding trying to speak. Yeah, that's active work. I'm not here to preach some other. I'm talking about, what are we doing? What are we doing to make our life better? It's going to always be somebody else. It's going to always be something else. It's going to always be in somebody else's hands. But what's in your hands? What can you do? Spirit says nurturing is the least you can do for yourself. That's all. That, like, identifying that you need time, that you have emotions, that you need space, that you need kinship, that you need understanding, that you need growth, that you need education, that you need shelter, food, clean water, clean food. That we need to change the way that we relate and cause suffering. We need to change that in our root, in our sacral, in our solar plexus, in our heart, in our throat, in our third eye, in our crown, and every other chakra above. Every single, applying pressure to every single one. It's going to look like, I mean, yes, it is kind of reading like a collective, like, tower energy, because it's about this communication. What are you going to communicate when you're on center stage? Some of y'all don't realize that this is your center stage moment right now. And you've been looking at me like I'm weird this whole time for performing this whole time. I've known I've been on stage this whole time. It doesn't matter who's watching. My spiritual team says whether the external world is ready or not, we'll tell you when it's your wheel of fortune. And when the wheel is spinning, you better tap dance. You better give America's best whatever. Next Top Chef, you better make the best meal you've ever made. When they say it's your time, it's your time. And who are you going to believe? The external world or your source? 2929, who are you going to believe? So yeah, I've been following the guidance to nurture myself and to make sure I look my best and feel my best. Even when I'm going through horrible times, like, and that was the challenge, right? Like, I also, as a soul, was like, bring on the heat during this, because it's going to make for a better show. To know that I was really flexing my self-preservation through some depths. Isn't that what the light is all about? Isn't that what gaining the strength is all about? Get ready to receive communication that reflects that successfulness, that reflects how good of a show you put on. because we would have submitted a final review, right? It would have been in the form of a position or a friendship or a relationship. You would have submitted something and it would have successfully been received. Because they can tell that you're nurturing yourself. I tell you what. I kind of have to tinky sprinkle, but I'm gonna grab the door. So got this deck, and it's like my favorite thing in the world, and I can just tell that somebody really gave it like some good years, you know what I mean? Don't you just love when the message is just it's the 31111. That's what it is. So that was the timestamp. Sorry about the fan in the background and the motorized light machine. It's a party where I'm at. That's why we started the video with the party scene. It's a party where I'm at. Woo! Release the death card in reverse. Oh my god. The end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. So when you move on, bottom of the deck. Unity, 5. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organization, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. When you move on, when there's a death in reverse to a Hierophant in reverse, it's like spiritual teaching that you don't respect, or that doesn't resonate. Once you have the death in reverse, good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. Here comes that opportunity. Like, I know, like, it's been, like, you know, there's like a few, like, if you really think about it, you'd be like, oh god, time is passing and I'm like emo. But yeah, it's the Ace of Air, right? It's the sword coming down, right? It's based on what you cut off. Because you put your sword down and you said, this I'm releasing, you now have room for the Page of Earth to come fill what now was a vacant space. So brilliant new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth of any situation, a challenging beginning, right? It is a challenging beginning because because it's sliced down in order for you to release and make space. The 4 of Air in reverse. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So here comes this Page of Earth and then the 4 of Air, right? Which says you've taken your rest. Now that you've been... This is me giving you the timeline before I go pee. The opportunity comes in. You've been fully rested. 7 of Earth. Seeds well planted. A temporary pause in action. Unnecessary worry, right? You come out of that. You come out of unnecessary... The pause is over. The healing is over. Page of Water. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins. A new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. I'm feeling like Page of Water, the 4 of Water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Someone who missed the opportunity is coming back. 3 of Earth. For a missed collaboration. Interesting. This energy is very specific, unified, and different, but it's essentially a Page of Cups in reverse with the 4 of Cups in reverse. Someone who didn't see what God was trying to give them, which it was likely an opportunity to collaborate, the power of creativity, recognition for the very high quality work, be a team player. This person, this energy, this community probably wasn't being a team player, and they weren't able to recognize like what quality of work you were producing, and so they're returning. It's like interesting. That's also like a very predictive, like this was very predictive energy. 5 of Air in reverse. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from the situation. Review everyone's motives. Spirits, like, that's the discernment, right? The 5 of Swords, because this is an energy that obviously missed. 3 of Air, great sadness. Take time to heal. Someone that you had to really heal from. The need to forgive yourself or others. So someone that you really needed space from, you had to get forgiveness from, because there was obviously a Five of Swords that needs to be... There was an unwise choice. So someone is trying to tell us of an unwise choice that they made. They made a very unwise choice, and they're talking about it. They're in the ether right now. This is cool, because I don't always get channel messages like this. So I feel like this is a very supportive... Page of Air reverse. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact. Yeah. This is ghosting. This is rejection. This is someone they're recognizing that they gave challenging information or made delays or changed the actual plan they realized was like the spiritual plan by doing this. And they were asked to be the king of earth, generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You see what I mean? That you offered this to somebody and they did not accept it. And use their Midas touch to like activate the connection. Therefore, they have a history of giving you challenging information. Wow, but this is crazy. This is the redemption. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. Creative solutions. Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. Do you see what I mean? Acknowledgement of the rejection of the past. Wow, this is incoming communication. Eight of Fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things happening at once. That's right now. 3707. The Knight of Air. This messenger is coming to you to tell you, right? This messenger who had this history of, this person in your life that didn't see what you were before, but now based on some timing and some karma and some healing, that was just a part of the development. Because either way, this energy, this outside energy, has developed into a knight. They've gone from a page to a knight. They know how to use and speak their truth properly. They don't just speak prematurely or play mental gymnastics or play mental games with people or manipulate people because they can. They don't just cut losses just to like make people to cut losses. They don't just make unwise choices because they know they can talk their way out of them anymore. Maybe that's what somebody needed to hear. So now that energy is an upright Knight of Air, which is intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. Creative solutions. You see what I mean? They're taking their time. They're reviewing their options. You're going to be able to review your options. And that's what they've learned. But they've ultimately realized that the relationship will just continue to grow closer. There is forgiveness and there is a resolution to the past conflicts. It says, events moving at a fast pace, delays are over. Many things happening at once. I don't know, dude. It's like pretty tight. So... Dragon Tarot. This is the funnest deck on the planet. So for the Death card in reverse, which was the end of a phase or a situation, the King of Wands in reverse. So releasing a King of Wands. Time to move on from a King of Wands in reverse. Something that was playing on your creativity. Something that was manipulating and poorly not identified. That was disempowering your King of Wands. Right? It's your Knight of Swords. And it was cutting against your truth. Your Knight of Swords was really what motivated you to really release that. But once you do release that King of Wands energy previously, The Page of Earth comes. This new opportunity. The Lovers reverse. The Queen of Wands reverse. The Six of Coins reverse. Ah, yes. This is you. This is the retribution you deserve. Because there's a karmic debt. So what the King of Wands did was put the Lovers in reverse, put the Queen of Wands, which was you were the other end of that partnership, in reverse. This is what the Divine Masculine was doing to the Divine Feminine, right? Not acknowledging that that was the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine being put disempowered, therefore, because her power, she's not identified as for what she is. And setting out, like, financially, like, blocking the abundance. Like, there were also, like, monetary things that were put on hold, periods of struggle for the Divine Feminine energy within all of us, because of the fact that this Divine Masculine needed to undergo a rebirth, to understand what's really in front of him. By him, I just mean the Divine Masculine. So here comes this new opportunity for the Divine Feminine, the one who's karmically owed. Right? Good news about financial matters. Ace of Wands, right? Good news for the... This is what I told you about this card. I didn't tell you guys, but this card is about, like, God is in the shop making this wand just for you. God's like, this is, like, the wand just for this person, right? So this is a special made gift from the Divine for the Divine Feminine. It's a physical manifestation opportunity, likely a job, partnership, contract. Four of Air in reverse. After needing again, I think this switches back to the perspective of, like, the healing that needed to happen from, like, a public rejection from the Divine Masculine. Like I'm getting that the Divine Masculine had the Divine Feminine on, like, Mari, like, literally, like, airing out, like, that's not my baby, right? And as I say that, the Seven of Swords in reverse, deception, right? The deceptive, having to recover from somebody's deception, just being, like, you're just like, okay, well, you're just lying. Like, that was what the Divine Feminine experienced. And it's about the Ten of Cups. Somebody saying that that's not my destiny. The Divine Feminine went up to the Divine Masculine and was like, hey, Divine Masculine, what's up? You're my Divine Masculine because we're you're the other portion of my soul, LOL. And the Divine Masculine was like, the fuck, bitch? Looking exactly like the Divine Feminine. Like, it is proven, it is fact that is the Divine Masculine's partner. And the Divine Masculine said, no, actually, I don't want the Ten of Cups with you because that's not my future. My future is this. Just because it's about power. It was about the patriarchy. It was about the power that the Divine Masculine can have in saying, deny my Divine Feminine energy of their purpose, of their value, rendering them useless so that I can have the power to decide whether my life is this or what I choose for it to be. I'm even seeing, like, people's marriages, like, going into people's marriages where, like, Divine Masculine energy within each of the individuals in the marriage, we're doing that. We're choosing partnership for all the wrong reasons to prove that they could have power versus, like, choosing what actually resonated with their heart. And probably, likely, like, really hurting what was meant for them in their heart space. This is a deep message, dude. This is a deep, 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 deep message. I feel so grateful right now and so activated in the messaging because there was healing that had to come from that. And then in comes this, it's going to be in the body, like, you either know it's a soul contract or you know, because a Knight of Wands is like, you feel they're someone in your tribe. They're of your kind. They create the same, they would be an attractive, viable energy. So when this comes around, this Knight of Wands comes back around to talk about how they didn't offer their cup to you because they didn't see what you were what God was trying to, like, get them to, like, move towards. You know? In these cards you see whales with cups, and it's just like both times, like, the whale is, like, avoiding the cup. It's like a magic cup sitting right there, and they just show you, and the whales are just like, nah, because in the reverse it's like skirt, like, sees the magic cup that could renew and change their life. and just go skirt because you have the power to say skirt. This is the Knight of Wands coming back with the message of that. To the Queen of Coins. Look, to the Divine Feminine. Because the Divine Feminine also just got this Page of Pentacles. So Divine Feminine is looking like a Queen of Coins right now. It's looking like say that, I'm rich, I'm up. And I'm healing, right? And I'm healing other people because I'm in a healing space right now because of what transpired. So this is weight. This is heavy. This is gravity. I know all of you will feel this. Apply this to your internal Divine Feminine and your internal Divine Masculine. This is an energy playing out in you. And of course you can see that projected in like real life stage, like duh. But the 5 of Air, an unwise choice, and it had to do with when they left. It's like getting left at the altar is what I feel like the embarrassment and the shame that the Divine Feminine got from the Divine Masculine. The wounding from that was, at the end of the day, I went up on the altar and upheld my vows, and you did not. You're vowed to spirit. You're vowed to be honest about the fact that you will always love this connection. That no matter how 5 of Air, 5 of Swords in reverse, right? I'll never have to make unwise decisions because as long as we have this covenant that says we are in union, that we are reflections of one another, there's no reason that I will never need to make an unwise decision like giving you a loss and giving myself a victory. There's no victory if you lose and I win. That's what this was about. That's what the sacredness of this message was about. There is no victory if you lose and I win. And this Divine Masculine energy has to... the 5 of Swords at the bottom of the deck clarifying the 5 of Swords in reverse. Coiling, wrapping around, slicing, their truth. One person is meeting them at the altar, the other is meeting them in their ego. Look at this. Meet me at the altar, not in your mind. This is a stubborn Divine Masculine energy that's saying, no. I'm going to cling to my truth. I don't want to act like there was ever a union here. You have to pay for that. Because you can say what you want to say, because at the end of the day, you could even like leave an argument and say all these things that probably you won't always feel forever. Because you probably won't always resonate with that energy forever. It's not even like you like regret it. It's just like, I don't feel charged like that anymore. So when there's literal proof of that emotions will change, the thing that's really important when it comes to like talking to another person, even in the height of a dispute or something, is that you understand that like we're committed to each other. Like that's the isolation. People snap, people lose it because they don't feel connected to what's on the other side. They don't believe that on the other side of this act of self-violence, this act of hate, that there's going to be someone who can meet them in the truth of spirit. And in that way, we need to undergo a collective healing process, because our Divine Masculine for so long was just leaving the Divine Feminine, like was living in illusions and whatever little truth, painful truth that say I'm right and this is wrong, and because ultimately look how cold, isolated, and freezing and alone this energy is. Never getting to bask into the sunlight with its Divine Feminine, who's just standing there like, I'm in paradise, are you coming? And the Divine Masculine literally said no. And cut it deep. Page of Air. Because it had its truth, but it wasn't developed in its truth, and it wasn't understanding that growth. 7 of Wands reverse, Knight of Cups reverse. Not offering your cup to and knocking somebody off their victory by not giving their cup. Like, you know that your energy can, what you say, what you do can quite literally like make someone think they're not actually as successful as they actually are. Because this energy that this Knight of Cups is rejecting is saying, I just came out of the six of Wands, which is like being celebrated for being really special and unique, and my internal guidance told me that you, Knight of Cups, were the next step, and I want to be successful. I want you to be on board. And this person's like, I'm just not going to be on board just to make sure that you don't keep thinking that you can be successful. It's like Page of Air. It's like bitch energy, Challenging information, delays, changing the plan because you can. The immaturity of the Page, like the Page of Swords is the person who gets the truth, but like people who can't handle the truth because they don't know how to live out the truth vibration, that's Page of Cups, Page of Swords in reverse. You see what I mean? got Knight of Air, intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless, events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options, creative solutions. Wow. So it's the Three of Cups reversed. I'm getting that this Knight of Air turns down. It's not even that they turn it down, but their motivation is that there is like a devil lurking that they need to deny, and it's in Three other cups. Like there could even have been like 3 other investments, 3 other pathways, 3 other things that they were thinking or contemplating, but they need to realize that there's the Two of Cups, right? That disappointment, because the Five of Cups, having all 5 of these options but not realizing where you need to be placed and what's actually growing, this has to do with what's decaying and dying for this Knight. This person has developed to understand to not attach themselves to things that are dying away and actually attach themselves to things that are growing and developing. That's what this Knight of Air, which is coming back with all this karmic history, is coming to say. And look at this. Oh my God. And the Two of Cups is the Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords. You will be able to rebuild with this new partnership and heal, because so long as one is committed to the truth, right, which understands and that the truth is that the divine feminine is who they are, and the divine masculine can learn to be the student and to stick to integrity. That's what the divine masculine is being asked to learn through this entire journey. The bottom of it, the devil in reverse. This is huge. This is not the devil. This is not the karmic. This is events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. You've overcome the devil. The delay is over. You now, that the devil is reversed, 8 of Fire can come to you. Bottom of this deck. You were budding, you know? You made it through the worst part. So this is nearly a 52-minute video, but I feel like everything was so raw and real. I'm so grateful for my new deck. Shout out to God for the gift. And I'm so grateful to get this to the airwaves, because, I don't know, I've been feeling all types of wonky energy. So it's good that this resonated with me at this time. All right. Peace.